about as good as I'm going to get it, I think. Let's see if I can move it around. That's not bad. All right, let me get these things going over here. All right. All right, well, let's maybe a little bit more. What do you think? All right, guys. Now, don't have that up because I'm on a show, so turn that down or put earphones on. All right, so how's it going, everybody? I'm headed to the gym today. It's the very first time my son's going to work out at the gym with me, so I'm going to teach him the ropes, do a little bit of bench press, stuff like that. A lot of you guys know that he takes judo, and I usually take him to judo, but today is the day that we get into doing some weightlifting. What's going on, Mike's Adventure? What's up, Kurt? Sorry about my phone bouncing around. I'm driving, so I'm doing my best. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Do I have decent comms? Give me some 5x5s. Sorry I haven't been live the last few days, guys. I've just been freaking buried, man. Trying to get stuff handled, trying to make money, trying to make Federal Reserve notes. And I've just had my spare time glued to the screen watching what's going on with this cryptocurrency legislation. A lot of you guys know that I am totally anti-fiat currency, and that I think that the Federal Reserve Bank, that private bank that runs our economy, needs to be shut down, and the people in charge of it should be tried for treason. Our Constitution and our Bill of Rights make it clear that our currency is supposed to be backed by something of intrinsic value, aka gold. And I am a believer in cryptocurrency. I do believe that digital currency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM, all that stuff is something of intrinsic value. And I'm going to tell you why on my way to the gym. All right? So give me a bunch of ones if any of you guys have bought any Bitcoin in the last couple of years. Because if you have, even if it's a half of a Bitcoin, you're sitting on generational wealth. You're sitting on a truckload of money, like real money, because money is something that's backed by intrinsic value. Now, some people will say, yeah, but you have to buy Bitcoin with fiat currency, so that make valued by fiat currency. And when that is true, you can buy cryptocurrency with fiat currency, but you can also take your crypto and say, hey, I want to get a bunch of gold. I'll give you a couple of satoshis for some of that gold. You can do it that way too. So cryptocurrency, what I think is cool about it is it's on a blockchain. It's your own bank. You don't have to put your money in a bank, pay fees or anything like that. I do have a problem with some of the crypto exchanges. You know, I don't like Robinhood and Circle and all that. I don't like the aspect that they charge fees, and I think you need to get your crypto into a freaking cold storage wallet like yesterday. Get it off those exchanges, because with the quantum computing that they have now, at some point they're gonna get it. They're gonna get at it. And quantum computing could potentially break the blockchain, and that's something that a lot of people talk about who are experts on the topic. But I think that quantum computing can also strengthen the blockchain and protect it. So I'm not that worried about it. But as I come up here to the stop here, I'll take a look at your comments. So most of you guys know I'm a lawyer licensed in California and Texas. I primarily focus on personal injury claims to feed my family, but I dabble in cryptocurrency, and I'm a constitutional law attorney as well. I do Second Amendment rights. I believe in the right to keep and bear arms, and I believe that our money should be backed by something of intrinsic value. So that's why I really think that, yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, SNS. Definitely. And again, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been going live as much. It's been very difficult to juggle running my law practice and doing the YouTube videos. And obviously I don't get enough super chats and membership subscriptions, memberships to make it a full-time job. So I try to donate my time to you and work off of whatever charity I can get from you guys to motivate my wife to let me keep doing these shows. And so that's another reason why I'm trying to do this on the way to the gym, as opposed to going to doing a live show like right this minute. But what I'm going to talk about right now is what just happened the last couple of days with this crypto legislation. And so a lot of you are probably a little concerned, we're a little concerned that the crypto legislation didn't go through as fast as Trump wanted it to. But that's because Marjorie Taylor Greene held it up. She did not want a CBDC, a crypto exchange, a privately run through the Federal Reserve banking system cryptocurrency system. So basically what she was trying to prevent is what the Democrats want, and that is more control over every aspect of your life. They want to copy what the communist Chinese and the Canadians have done to their citizens, where if you refuse to take their shot, or you refuse to say that a man is a woman or a woman is a man, at some point they could restrict your free speech rights as well as your other rights and seize your assets through the crypto exchanges, through a centralized currency system. And so she fought hard to get that out of there, or to make it more difficult for this privately run Jekyll Island disaster to go ahead and take your crypto away from you if you do something that these communist pieces of shit that have infiltrated our government are trying to do to you and I. And so Braxton, so right now I'm holding XRP, XLM, Ethereum, and regular Bitcoin. And then I also, because I have stuff in the SEP IRA and Roth IRA, what I try to do is get heavily involved in the ETFs. So I was really heavy into MSTU for a while. I still have a ton of money into MSTY, which generates me between 30 to 50,000 a month in dividends, but there's NAV erosion. And with all the new cryptos and with the lower end currencies, with the altcoins coming up and competing more with Bitcoin, I'm seeing that MSTY is not as lucrative as it was over the last couple of years. And so we're seeing the dividends amounts decrease, and the NAV erosion is so great that for someone to get into it now paying $22.90 or whatever it is right now. What's going on, Howard Clegg? Good seeing you. With that going on right now, so let's say you have 600,000 invested into MSTY. Okay. Well, if Bitcoin stays volatile enough, the covered calls on that might generate you $2.49 per share in dividends. Hopefully you can still hear. Whenever someone calls me, I lose comms. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Give me some 5x5s, otherwise we're screwed. Okay, cool. So let's say that you have 600,000 into MSTY, and that's generating you, if it stays volatile, if Bitcoin stays volatile, that could generate you like $2.49 per share in a monthly dividend. But the way it works is they'll chisel that out of your initial investment, out of your shares. So if the shares were selling for $22.90, well, now they're going to shave off $2.49 off each share. So the next day the shares are going to be selling for like 20 something, right? Or whatever it is. And then you've got to wait for Bitcoin to get volatile again. In other words, go up and down in price really aggressively. And that's why a lot of people don't like Bitcoin, by the way, because they're like, oh, well, it's too volatile. You know, it was selling for 70,000 last month, and then today it's selling for 100,000, and then it might go down to 80. So that's called volatility. It goes up and down and up and down. And so when that happens, regular people who aren't risk takers like us on my channel, they look at that as a bad investment. And so going back to MSTY, well, MSTY makes its money off of covered calls. So what they do is they'll manage it for you. The high end is going to be restricted, so you're not going to be able to make as much money off of it. XRP is pretty good, dude. I've made about $3,000 off XRP in the last 2 days. I've almost doubled my investment, so it's pretty incredible. I'm pretty blown away, to be honest with you, because I didn't think altcoins were going to go anywhere, man. Yeah, high risk, high reward. But see, here's the deal, guys. Bitcoin was selling for like less than a penny or something a share or a coin when it first started, or something ridiculous like that. And now it's up to, when I left my house today, it was $120,000 per coin. And you don't have to buy a full coin. You could just go onto Robinhood and invest $300. And as Bitcoin goes up, your Satoshis go up. So yeah, the deal is that, yeah, when it first started, it was super cheap. And then it's going to have dips, and that's when you buy. You buy at the dip. And then it goes back up. But over time, it creates what we call generational wealth. Generational wealth. And I don't day trade it. And I think that if you don't hold it for at least a year, you pay some pretty serious taxes on whatever your distributions are. So I buy and hold, guys. There's no reason to sell it. Buy and hold. There are so many new programs coming out and so many new offerings from businesses that you can get loans against your Bitcoin. You can get a mortgage against your Bitcoin. You never have to get rid of it. And it just keeps going up in value over time. And that's the issue with these cryptos. And so with this new legislation that's coming out, I know there was the Genius Act, and there were 3 of them that were bundled. And yesterday I sold everything that I had that was Bitcoin related, because it was getting late and I didn't think that the legislation was going to be passed, because there were some holdout rhinos, I thought. But then I found out later it was really just Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to make sure we didn't get this centralized currency, which is what the Democrats are trying to do, is make us into like communist China or Canada. We don't want that. We want to get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank. We don't want a private Federal Reserve running our currency. We don't need these assholes telling us how much interest rates should be. The market should decide that. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. So, in any event, the crypto legislation, right? That's right, Howard, thanks. The crypto legislation actually got passed, and I believe that the CBDC, the central bank digital currency provisions that the left wanted in there got stripped out, thank God. And so now each bill is going to go up for what they call a full vote, and I think it goes up into like a committee where the Senate and the House negotiate and come up with the final bill, and I'm pretty sure that Trump's going to sign it. And when that happens, thanks, man. Thanks, Hassan. When that happens, I think what's going to go down is, right now, Bitcoin's kind of like volatile back and forth from about 117 low to a little over 120 high. And I think once that legislation gets passed, Bitcoin is going to go to the moon. I'm thinking 150 to maybe even 200,000 a coin. And that's going to pull up Ethereum. That's going to pull up XRP. It's going to be insane, guys. So I hopefully you guys are along for the ride with me. And look, I know my show normally talks about things like government abuse and things like that. But look, the Federal Reserve banking system, the privately run Federal Reserve Bank, is, in my opinion, unconstitutional, as well as the income tax and the IRS. All of those government agencies should be abolished. It shouldn't exist at all. And so Bitcoin offers us an opportunity to retake back our financial security, our ability to have our own bank, our ability to keep our money secure. Because if you own gold and silver, well, first of all, you've got to sell it. You've got to hold it. You've got to transport it. It is an unsecure asset. It could easily be stolen from you. It could melt in a fire. A lot of issues with that. Not to say that I don't believe you should own gold and silver. I have a lot of it. But I think that my strategy now, just so you know, if you want to know what my strategy is when it comes to like IRAs and retirement, is I do the gold royalties. Okay, so like Royal Gold and things like that. Silver, Franco, Nevada, or Franklin, Nevada. And I just get a small royalty check. That way you don't have to own the physical gold, because you really don't own physical gold. Like GLD and these other BlackRock companies, you lose your interest in that through hypothecation. You never really own the gold. They lease it to 3 or 4 different people, and it loses its value over time. And if the economy goes south, you'll lose all your shares. They'll go down to nothing. So royalties, I think, are the way to go. And so that's what I do. My strategy is ETFs. If you're going to do, because you can't buy Bitcoin through an IRA. There is a way to do it, but it's very expensive and difficult. But you cannot hold it in a traditional Roth or a traditional SEP. And that's where the ETFs come in, and that's where strategic reserves like MSTR come in. So what I'm doing is I'm buying MSTR at the dip and IBIT, even though I hate BlackRock, but I see that IBIT is tied directly to Bitcoin, and BlackRock has already got more Bitcoin, or almost as much Bitcoin, than MSTY. But of course, MSTY was buying Bitcoin when it was like 70,000 a coin. So they have a lot more pull. They have a lot more value in their company. Michael Saylor's strategy is absolutely amazing. And I like Michael Saylor. Plus, he was in the military, so I had more respect for him than these pedo islander guys, the BlackRock guys. So that's my strategy. Is I am just going for gold, silver, platinum, royalties, and ETFs in the IRAs, and then I'm going for, and I'm buying at the dip. And right now, guys, if you were ever going to buy, by the way, I also am investing heavily in Robinhood and Circle. And already my Robinhood and Circle shares are up about 50%. I mean, they're going through the roof, guys. And it's only going to get better. And I also purchased some Ethereum ETF stocks, and they're absolutely amazing. And they're going through the roof as well. So if you guys want to know what my strategy is, that's what I'm doing. And well, I'm sitting here waiting for this obese woman to go across the crosswalk. If you guys want to ask me any questions, you could ask me. I'm almost to the gym, so I'll take a few questions when I park, I guess. But right now, and it is true, some of these comments, they're saying that a wise man builds wealth for his family, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to build wealth for the kids, and also be able to have a really nice little stash of gold, silver, and Bitcoin, so I don't have to struggle all my life and continue on with this law firm, and be able to bring you guys the opportunity to have more YouTube videos, because I love doing YouTube videos. I love doing the ones that I do at the office with you guys. But look, make sure we got comms again. When I'm doing this stuff, guys, when I'm doing these videos with you guys, I am tired as hell. So it's once I'm in a position where I have some independence, some wealth independence, I'll be able to do more YouTube videos for you guys. Give me a bunch of ones if you'd like that. Anyways, I'm almost to the gym here, and I've got to return a couple of calls that came in while I was on the phone with you. I had a couple clients reach out to me. Oh boy. But yeah, SNS and all my homies here on the channel today. I really appreciate it that you joined me for this quick little ride to the gym. And once I park, we'll talk a little bit about if anybody has any questions about what I do with crypto. But right now I'm up. So I am up about, I don't know, 30% on my crypto investments. I'm getting close to doubling what I put in, and that's in a very short amount of time, guys. So I'm super thrilled about what's going on here, and I'm hoping that you guys will. Obviously, I'm not giving you financial advice. I don't give you legal advice. I'm just telling you what I do. But I'm hoping that you guys will consider a different strategy than just putting worthless fiat currency in a bank. The dollar devalues so much that you're not gonna, it's worthless. The only way you're gonna be able to survive is to put it to work for you. All right, so let's see here. Thanks, SNS. All right, so I'm looking at some of these comments here. Yeah, silver is set to explode, and silver is already exploding, by the way, guys. So yeah, silver is going off the charts. So anyways, let me just see here if there's any more questions. All right, man. Well, look, I'm just going to go train, guys. So I'll try to do a live for you guys tomorrow night if you guys are around. I'll probably cover more about the surveillance state and what's been going on. Yeah, deflationary assets. That's right, in the shadow of God. So with that being said, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Semper Fi, do or die. Talk to you soon.